I love how you describe it as a quest to finding where you belong, you know, because it's hard. And I think what you said before, it was almost more simple when we had lack of options, lack of choice, because you knew kind of where you were at. And I think that there's such a lack of connection in the modern world in a way, because everybody they grow up and then they leave, and then you don't really keep up with anyone properly, because also in social media it does give you a really amazing platform to connect with people who you went to school with, who you met like once on holiday in like 2006, who you might know, who you might work with or used to work with, or make friends through social media as well. But I think there's such a ceiling on the depths of friendship unless you're actually like video calling or seeing them in person. But in terms of like social media friendships, there is a bit of a limit on that. So it's interesting then, if you do stay where you are, it can also feel quite limiting, because who else is out there to see? You know, all of the friends who you can go and see and experience and meet. And then it becomes this, I guess, paralysis of what do you do. And one of the pieces of content you put on your social media is like, point of view, you've turned 26, and I'm also 26, so I can relate to you on this. But it's, you want to climb the corporate ladder, but you don't want to burn yourself out. Find the love of your life, but also focus on your passion. Save to buy a house, but also travel while you're still young. Move out of your hometown, but spend more time with your family. But what if you can have it all, just not all at once? And be patient with each season. And I kind of want to break that down a little bit, because a lot of the time we do look at all of the options that we have, which are more than any generation before us have had. We have the most options of what we can do. We can work online, we can work remotely, we can do anything, which almost overwhelms us with choice and makes every decision seem almost unworthy, because there's so many other options that we can have. So it's actually really hard, linking back to where do you belong, in terms of so many different parts of your identity, not only where you actually physically are, but in terms of all the little bits as well. It can feel quite overwhelming. So what are your kind of thoughts on that? Like, how do you fit in? How do you find
Um,
that out? How do you not get overwhelmed and end up doing nothing?
well, who said you're not gonna get overwhelmed? Like, there's definitely gonna be hard days, 100%. But I feel like everyone is on their path. Everyone is trying out things. And actually, just a disclaimer on the whole like topic. The video itself that you mentioned, that's not originally mine. So like the idea was someone else's. I wanted to put it out there just for credits, because just to be, honest and transparent. But anyway, that said, it just points out how valid the feelings are, because so many other people are relating to the same feelings. So like no matter the age, like 26 is just indicative, but the mid-20s in general, like there's people still in university and people who have children and getting married, and like there's literally everything. And when you see that everyone is on their path, you stop even comparing. Like there's no even point in just being, oh, I feel like behind, or I feel like I'm doing something that no one ever did before. It's literally everyone is on their path. And it's fine to make mistakes. Like, as you said, like we're very privileged right now to be able to try out like things that don't work out, we start over again. It's really a privilege. And like, you can look at things and you can always find something bad or something good in any situation. You know how like it's whether you see the cup half empty or half full. But and like, to be fair, I also feel like sometimes it's really important to see it half empty, because it gives us the the drive to just change what is not working.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always gonna shift, one day you're gonna see it that way, one day the other. But like, what's important sometimes is just to stop and say, okay, wait, I have a cup with something, like it's filled, at least it has something. The way you see then, like, it's up to you, but like there's something there, meaning that like every day you still have an option. Like you wake up, you still have an option. And of course it's overwhelming when you think, oh wait, I did not find exactly what I want to, or you thought you wanted something, you try it out and it doesn't work, and you're like, wait, did I make a mistake? It's really overwhelming. But for me, what works is I really trust my feeling. I don't pressure myself into thinking, okay, this is for the rest of my life. No one knows. Like like the future is unpredictable, and thinking that I will know right now, exactly what's going to happen like in 10 years, I have no clue. Like I literally have no clue. I just know what works for me right now. And I'm going to pursue that. And then if it turns out to be the same thing in 5 years, in 10 years, I'm happy. But if it doesn't, like I'm gonna be open to change again. And I feel like one thing for sure that this sort of lifestyle gives you is the ability to be so versatile, to just be able to change again, like take a backpack and start over again. And it is tiring. It might be tiring because you're like, oh, what did I build then? If like my circle changes every time, if my doctor changes every time, if my, the language I speak changes every time, it's hard, it's confusing, and it's hard, especially in terms of relationships, because naturally we'll belong to others. We are, human beings, and we tend to interact with each other, and it's hard to create like strong relationship, either friendships or just like, partner wise. It's really hard to build something up, because if you're always constantly moving, it's hard to keep the same environment. And as you said, at the same time, if you're stuck in a place and everyone else leaves, it's the same. You're still like alone, and you need to start over again.